Well, I was born in southeast Missouri. It's about 67 miles south of St. Louis, in the beginning of Arcadia Valley, the beginning of the Ozarks. And I was born in a little town named Elvins, Missouri. Uh, the St. Joe Lead Company had come in and bought up the farms of my great-grandfather and uncles and aunts because lead had been found on their farms. My mother was very ill when I was born and couldn't feed me, so an aunt who had a baby took me into her home and fed me for several months until my mother was well again. Now, this was Aunt Sarah and Uncle Bill Lane. And Uncle Bill Lane was president of the bank and very well known in the community. And when he spoke, everyone listened. So at the big family gatherings, he always told the story of my birth, which was very, very embarrassing to me. He pointed out that my mother was a Republican, and of course all the Gideons and Lanes were very staunch Democrats. And he said that's why I wouldn't, my mother couldn't feed me, so Aunt Sarah, who was a Democrat, did. And this went on. Well, I never did get over not enjoying the story, but then that's that. We always went to church. My mother taught Bible always and took every course in Bible. My father sang in the choir. All of his family enjoyed singing a lot. This is a picture taken, I think, when I was 3 years old. And the dad would always go to choir practice, and I loved going with him. We lived on what was called Boo Boo's Hill, and to run down the hill was something. Dad would walk along, and we'd walk at a regular rate of speed, and then he'd get to singing. Pretty soon we'd be walking very fast. It was quite hard for me to catch up with him, but in time, I finally could take strides and walk as fast as Dad. And that was the time that this picture was taken, and then years later. In time, I was 12 and went to St. Louis to visit my cousins and their parents. And on Easter Sunday, I had a new outfit and very proud of myself. And we went out to Forest Park Highlands to a band concert. And the cousins, I noticed, started looking at me, and then their mother spoke to me, and she said, "Don't take such long strides. Tells everyone you're from the country." So I soon learned to take little dainty steps and walk like a lady. Well, this went on my whole life until Annette was in the hospital, and when she came home, I used to go over and fix her breakfast and see the children off to school. And I said to Stephen, I can walk over here from our house in 14 minutes now. And he said, "Well, Grandma, I've had walking in school, and my teacher says that if you take longer strides, you can make a lot better time." And he said, "Your legs are long, you can take long strides." So again, I started taking long strides, and surprising enough, as I walked from our house to theirs, I could feel Dad right beside me and walking those big steps down Boo Boo's Hill. And sure enough, I did cut off the time to going. We had a very good life. We were kin to practically everybody in St. Francis County. And my mother also came from a large family. Our entertainment was family gatherings and singing. All the folk liked to sing, and everyone knew who sang what parts, and they would discuss the intricacies of, I remember the bulldog on the bank, and somebody always sang it wrong, Uncle Charlie, and they all corrected him to get it just right before they would would go on with her singing.